Yeah. Okay, dark side of bodybuilding, the things that people don't want to talk about.
Okay, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Simon Fan, this is Lesiak, one-time British champion, four-time British champion. Today's video, we're going to talk about the dark side of bodybuilding. All the things you have to go through to get to a champion level bodybuilding stage. So drop this video, like, subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, so one of the things I sort of noticed when I used to be deep in prep is you sort of become very within yourself, especially the last probably 4 or 5 weeks. You don't want to talk to anyone, energy levels are really low, and basically you struggle to sort of string a sentence. You just want to come in, don't want to talk to anyone, don't want to make eye contact with anyone, just want to come in, train, as if you've got the energy to train and get out. So that is one of the things. You come to the gym, you're very unsociable, you just want to get in, get out, eat and go to sleep. So just bear that in mind. If you are going to put yourself through a bodybuilding prep, there will be times where you will feel very isolated, don't want to talk to anyone. Even though sort of people around you keep asking you what you're eating, how you're feeling, you'll get pissed off answering the same questions from time to time. So bear that in mind, and something you have to deal with. Whether you want to please everyone, just tell them how you feel, or just shut everyone off, that's down to you. Okay, so following on to my video, Parv is exactly 4 weeks out from his first show of the year, and now 4 weeks out, you're feeling pretty tired, moody. So tell me exactly how you feel, the downsides, the negatives.
Negatives, basically someone says something to me with one little thing, I just step back at them. It's not like me at all.
So do you find you've changed your personality whilst you've been prepping?
Oh, big time. It's like
your patience is.
I don't have no patience with no one. I don't want to talk to no one. I just want to be left alone, and I'm cranky, hungry, and that's.
How are you sleeping?
Sleeping's fine. Sleeping's actually fine. I don't like to wake up in the morning. I just want to hibernate now for like a couple of months.
So you basically come to the gym. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to make eye contact. You don't want to have chit chat. You just want to get your training done.
Focus on training and just go home. That's it.
Okay, so that is sort of one of the, I'd say, downsides to bodybuilding. It's the way you feel, sort of 4 to 6 weeks out. I'm just doing this video about the downsides of bodybuilding and how psychologically you feel and how you carry to train. I mean, Parv, I hope you don't mind me saying, but he had a bit of a tiff with his missus last week because she didn't make him a coffee.
Just over the coffee, and I just totally snapped at her, like didn't speak to her for a good 12 hours.
So bear in mind, like I said, it's not her fault that he's dieting. So the world doesn't revolve around Parv. So it's something you got to bear in mind. Everyone else has got their own lives, and because you're in your own little bubble, you've got to take into consideration other people's feelings.
Yeah.
So, okay, so another little thing that used to really get me down when I was competing is when you're really in a deep prep, your mind starts playing games with your head. You'll be in the gym, you'll be training, you're looking pumped up, looking dry, shredded, and you think, wow, I'm looking ace, I'm ready. But you go home, a couple later, your muscles deflated, you go home, you look in the mirror, you think, what the fuck's going on? You lost all your definition, you look smooth. So that really plays with your head. One day you can look great, you feel the top of the moon. Next day, you look in the mirror, you look fat, you look soft, you look behind. That really gets you down. So you got to sort of stay on track. Don't let stuff like that go to your head, because it will get to your head. That's when you got to have people around you, take consistent photos, and basically be on track.
Okay, so this is a little follow-up from what Simon was just saying about cutting yourself off and being a little bit selfish. I had this experience myself, and so when you're dieting, it gets to that extreme. You become so moody and horrible person that you kind of think the world revolves around you because you're doing a competition. One particular year, I was like 6 weeks out from competition. My dad had terminal cancer and he could have died at any point. They gave him three months, he lasted 3 years basically. Coming close to a competition, I kept putting it off going to see him. I'll go and see him next week. I was so tired, I didn't want to be moody around him, pull it off again, pull it off again. Before you know it, it got close to the comp and I said, you know what, I'll go and see him after the competition. What happened the weekend of the competition, he passed away. So I became so selfish that I didn't even go and visit my dad the last 6 weeks before the competition, the last 6 weeks of his life. That massively mentally changed me. You don't have to be so selfish, you can still go and do things. Remember, the world doesn't revolve around you just because you're dieting. And if that guy over there wants to eat a burger, he can eat a burger. And I shouldn't be angry about it. It's my choice, what I do. So don't get angry at other people and don't put off life and your loved ones just because you're moody and you're dieting.
So following on from Dean, that's very true, and that's something I sort of needed to sort of deal with myself. I remember when I was running Temple Gym and I was probably 2 weeks out from a competition and I was on very, very low carbs. Trenbolone was through the roof, testosterone was through the roof, and I was really angry. And Temple Gym was in a basement, so there was no ventilation, no windows. And somebody had brought cheese pasta dish warm, and I could smell it from like 200 yards from the alleyway. And when the guy brought it to the gym smiling, I freaked out. It was a new member, and I don't know how he still talks to me this day, but he knows who he is. I basically flipped out at him and I kicked him out of the gym, so don't you ever bring the food when I'm dieting. And poor guy, it wasn't his fault, it was my fault I was dieting, so bear that in mind. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about, a lot of people won't realise until they start a prep, is the cost involved, not only in supplements, food, but obviously anabolics. So the food, you're probably talking at least £50 to £100 a week. You've got to have good quality steak, chicken, fish, eggs, all your protein sources, that's where the cost is. On top of that, your supplements, your protein powder, your amino acids, etc. Then you got obviously things like testosterone, clenbuterol, growth hormone. Growth hormone particularly is very expensive. So you're probably talking £500–600 a month you need to sort of put aside for a competitive prep. So you say you're doing 4 or 5 months, that's about £2,000–3,000 you've got to have put aside just for the food, the drugs, the supplementation, the gym membership. So it is a costly sport. Then when you get to competition day, you've got to pay for gym membership, pay for tan, trunks, oil, registration, music, travel costs, hotel. That'll probably in itself cost them £1,000. So these are the things you need to think about before doing competition.
The mental state, when you're getting ready for competitions, you're in such a caloric deficit and you're hitting your body so hard with the cardio or the training. When you're dieting that hard, your blood sugars are so low you can't sleep, so you're hardly getting any rest and you're battering your body from every angle. Your whole body starts to shut down. It gets not only physically draining but more so mentally draining. Your brain shuts down, you can't string sentences together, it gets physically tough. Alongside, just that alone, but when you chuck drugs in the mix as well, it really plays with your emotional state. Hormones are all over the place, testosterones can be shut down, drugs are taking them sky high, estrogen's up and down, you become very hormonal. People don't talk about this. I remember being close to a show and I was so down. I'm watching a Disney cartoon, I start laughing, then all of a sudden I burst out crying for no reason. I don't understand what's going on. But because your body shuts down, you become so hormonal. This is why most bodybuilders are like bitches close to the competition and they complain about everything. Lots of people don't like to talk about this and they don't really like to admit this. But when you're pushing to these extremes, things start breaking down. You have to be as healthy as you possibly can, keeping some good fats in your diet. When you're doing these extreme diets, you do them for a short amount of time, do your competition, get out, become healthy. When you're doing back-to-back shows for years and years and years, you're really messing around with your health. People don't really understand the impact and the effects that has on your health long term, so be aware.
A little thing I've sort of noticed, especially recently now, all the competitions are in full force. When someone's in prep mode, They've just done a competition. They write a massive 10-page post on Instagram thanking the next door neighbour, thanking the grandma, thanking the wives. They get really emotional because they sort of overthink everything. Emotions are through the roof, testosterone's sort of down, estrogen's high. So that is one of the things you just mentioned. And probably any other times here, they wouldn't be giving their partners a second thought, but come competition times, everything's on them. So that is a good thought. Yeah.
Okay, things people don't want to talk about in competitive bodybuilding. Don't want to say all, but wherever there's money, there's corruption. A lot of these federations, there's a lot of corruption that goes on. And I'm not just saying that because I've felt it myself. I've seen it in many, many cases. Heard all kinds of stories. I mean, people now, they get prepped by certain people because they think they're going to get better places. And sometimes it does happen. Get in with the right people, you're going to get recognized more, and it can help. But not always. If you come on stage being the best out of the whole group, they have to give it you. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. We've heard horror stories, bikini girls and stuff doing things, not so much forcefully, but ways of getting pro cards, sleeping with judges and different things like this. Horrendous, horrific stories. Don't get lost in the industry. Concentrate on yourself, being the best you possibly can.
Okay, so something else people don't really talk about, but this is something I've experienced. So when you're sort of, the first few weeks when you start a pre-contest cycle, so you're probably having a couple shots a week, so 2 shots of testosterone, whatever it may be. But as you get towards the last 4 to 6 weeks, you're taking very frequent shots. You're probably taking 2 shots every day, every other day. So when you sort of inject in certain places, you get a lot of scar tissue build up, and that same places ache, they get sore, they get bruised, they get inflammation. So you do run out of places to inject, and it does sort of compromise on your sleep, because when you're sort of lying in bed, your shoulders sore and your bum's sore and your lats are sore, it does have a negative effect on recovery and everything else, and it does make you feel very uncomfortable. So that is one of the things people don't really talk about, but something you have to bear in mind when you are in a pre-contest diet and you're sort of injecting yourself 4, 5, 6 times a week. Okay, so that's a wrap, and thanks for watching our video today, and hopefully we've not put you too much off competitive bodybuilding, but it is my duty and Dean's duty to sort of warn you about the negative downsides of bodybuilding. This is not all what you see on stage, you know, the lights, the glory, the tan, the trophies. There is a lot that goes on behind the scenes of bodybuilding, a lot of ups, plenty of downs, so bear this in mind if you do think about embarking on a bodybuilding prep journey. Dean, do you want to give a...
Yeah, I mean, it says I hope we haven't put you off bodybuilding, and I kind of hope a little bit that we have, because then you have a lot happier life. We sound like bitter old men, and maybe we are a little bit, but we're definitely not naive, because we've been there, we've done that, we've experienced it, and we've seen it all, and all we're doing is sharing our experiences and what we've seen. So you guys don't have to make these mistakes. Still go and compete. Push yourself to whatever levels you can, but be aware of what goes on in the industry.
Yeah, so if you've got any questions or any ideas, drop me or Dean a message. Our Instagram's on the link in the description of the box below, and hopefully we've given you some insights on what it takes to become British champion and what goes on behind bodybuilding scene. So thanks for watching again. Drop this video a like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.